Hi everyone. So today we're going to continue our work on our personal narratives. We're going to be looking at paragraph breaks. So times when we have to make paragraph breaks, times when we should make paragraph breaks, and then you're going to be revising your personal narrative to include appropriate paragraph breaks and dialogue. So we'll be talking about dialogue too. All right, the reason for paragraph breaks is simply that it helps your reader follow your train of thought. We transition, right? We talk about one thing, then we talk about something else. We need to change paragraphs. Um, when we make changes in our topic or location or time, or there's people talking to each other, we need to break the paragraph so it helps the reader follow what we're doing. In order to break your paragraphs, you may already know this, but I'll say it anyway. You'll hit enter, and then you need to hit the tab button one time so that you're tabbed in a little bit. Your first line of every paragraph is tabbed in just a little bit. Yeah, so like that. All right, we're going to talk about 3 occasions when you must start a new paragraph and 2 occasions when you may want to start a new paragraph. So the first must is when you start a new topic. So when you switch topics, you need to start a new paragraph. Hit enter and tab. So for example, if you were writing maybe about a haunted house, and you were describing what it looked like on the outside, that's one topic. When you switch and start talking about how the protagonist feels, afraid of going in and stressed out about going into this house, that is a new topic. Even though it's still about the haunted house, you went from what it looks like to how your protagonist feels about going into it. New topic, new paragraph. Okay. Um, Another time when you will for sure want to start a new paragraph is when you change time or location. So whenever you skip forward or backward in time, or you move from one location to another, you're going to want to start a new paragraph. If we go back to the haunted house example, if we're talking, there's something going on outside the house, you're going to start a new paragraph as soon as the action moves inside. So let's say you're describing what the outside looks like, and then your character walks in, and even if you're still describing the house, but now you're going to describe maybe that front foyer when they first walk in or something, but you are changing locations from the outside of the house to the inside, new paragraph. Time is another one too. Sometimes you have time jumps in stories because there's really nothing interesting to talk about for the next day or the next hour or whatever. So if your time jumps, you want to start a new paragraph. And if your time goes backwards too, like a flashback or something, you want to change paragraphs then as well. So if your protagonist, like your main character, you probably, right, in this personal narrative, the main character would be you. Let's say you were afraid to go into the haunted house, and that is one paragraph. And if then you think back to something that happened when you were much younger that made you feel the same way, that is a change in time, going backwards instead of forwards, but it's still a change in time, so you would start a new paragraph. So that's change in time or location. We put those together just because they often happen together. If there's going to be a change in time, oftentimes there's also a change in location. And if there's a change in location, oftentimes the time changes too. Not always, but usually they go hand in hand. All right, here is dialogue too. So when you have characters speaking to each other and you're putting the words that they speak, you want to put it in quotation marks. You need to start a new paragraph every single time. So when you have a lot, like a conversation between two people, there is going to be a lot of blank space on the page. It seems going to feel like you're hitting enter a lot, but that's just how the nature of it. If you open up any book and look at a conversation, you'll see, even if your characters are only saying a couple words at a time, you start a paragraph every time a new speaker speaks. All right, so that's dialogue. Here are 2 occasions when you may want to start a new paragraph. You don't have to, but it's a good idea, so you might want to think about it. One is when a speech is running long. So if you have a character giving a long speech or they're talking for a long, long time, you'll want to break that up into paragraphs, and you may even want to interrupt it with a little bit of action, even if it's just a sentence or two about maybe what the person who's listening is doing or something or other. Honestly, I would try to discourage you from having real long speeches in your writing. Um, they tend to get boring, to be honest. All right, but if you really feel like you need to, then make sure it's broken up into paragraphs. The other one, and I think this is a good thing to try to incorporate if you can, is if you want to emphasize something for dramatic effect. This could be as little as like a word, or it could be a sentence or two or something. Um, like if you wanted to just say, you know, yikes, or something like that. I mean, that's kind of dumb, I know, but whatever. You wanted to have one single word or sentence that really stands out and makes your reader notice it. You can put it in its own paragraph. That's okay. But I would say don't do this too often because then it kind of loses it. It's kind of like if you highlight too much on a piece of paper, then nothing's really highlighted, right? It's the same thing. If you do this where you put a single word or a single sentence in its own paragraph too often, it, that single word or single paragraph won't stand out anymore because there's so much of it on the page. All right, here's what we're going to do today. This is how we're going to practice this. Um, I'm going to read you this little story, or you can mute it and read it on your own. That's fine too. But we're going to read it, and then I'm going to ask you, why did we start a new paragraph? So you can see over here on the left, I've got the paragraphs numbered very lightly. So we'll read the whole thing, and then I'll ask you, why did we start a new paragraph between numbers 1 and 2? It's basically what changed, right? So did we have a change in, like, did we start a new topic? Did we have a change in time or location? Did we have a new character speak? There's no speech in here, so I'm not even going to offer that as an answer or, as a possibility. But also the other option would be, did we change paragraphs to emphasize something for dramatic effect? All right, so let's read this, and then you can tell me why we started a new paragraph each time. All right, first day of school. Mariah was thrilled about her first day at a new school. She loved school, and this would be the first day of high school. On the night before the first day of school, she gathered all of her school supplies and put them into her backpack. She was so excited. The next morning, Mariah awoke before her alarm clock even went off, so she could spend some extra time getting ready for school. She jumped out of bed and brushed her teeth. Mariah showered, took extra time on her hair and makeup, put on her new outfit, ate breakfast, and said goodbye to her mother as she walked outside to wait for the bus. When she got on the bus, she saw her friend Amber. "Hey, Mariah, over here." Amber motioned for her to come sit beside her. They chatted happily all the way to school. When they got to school, the girls walked to their home rooms, which were right next door to each other. Mrs. Jenkins greeted Mariah and helped her find her desk. Throughout the day, Mariah loved every moment of freshman orientation. It was going to be a great year. When it was time to leave, Mariah gathered her belongings. After a short bus ride, Mariah arrived at the bus stop and saw that her mom was waiting there for her. She couldn't wait to tell her mom all about the day. High school was even better than she had ever expected. All right, so looking at this, and I'm going to keep this on the screen so you can look at it as you're answering. Why did we change paragraphs between paragraphs 1 and 2? What changed? All right. And then between paragraphs 2 and 3, why did we start a new paragraph with paragraph 3? All right. And it's the same question for paragraph 4. We started a new paragraph here. Why did we start a new paragraph here at number 4? And then here at paragraph 5, what changed? Why did we start a new paragraph here at paragraph 5? How about number 6? Why did we start a new paragraph here with paragraph 6? And number 7, why did we start a new paragraph here? And then finally, you can guess the question, why did we start a new paragraph here at paragraph 8? All right, that's it for this practice about breaking up paragraphs. I would just say one more thing. It's about dialogue more than paragraphs. Um, Make sure, see how I want you to look at the dialogue here and notice that the words that Amber is saying are in quotation marks. So Amber, the words she says are, "Hey Mariah, over here." So that's in quotation marks. Notice the period is inside the quotation marks. And then also notice that there is what we call a dialogue tag. There's something that goes with it. It's like she said or whatever. Here it was Amber motioned for her to come sit beside her. And then if Mariah had answered, right, we would start a new paragraph here. Right here, we'd hit enter and start a new paragraph to get Mariah's answer. All right, that's it. If you have questions or concerns about paragraph breaks, please get hold of me and have a great day.